Hi, and welcome to Hologram DevRel Weekly. We are here in a new spot. I'm Chris Campbell.
I'm Ben Strahan, or Benstr.
And so we have a different backdrop this week. We are at MHub, which is where we operate out of on a regular basis. And, it's a workshop. It's a shared workspace for people putting together hardware startups or just general projects.
So Chris and I have a garage here. The office is often another spot, the Hologram office. And then we get this little nook where we get to bring all our crazy electronics and everything and hack on things all day long.
Yeah.
This space is made for crazies like us.
Yeah. So what are we talking about this week?
Oh, well, this week was a fun week. Let's dive into it. So I know that I promised that this week was going to be AT Command Week. It turned out to be a different week for me. I would say it turned out to be Workshop Week. So really fun things went along with workshops. One, planning the workshop over at IoT DevFest. And so I got the IoT DevFest page pulled up right here. By the time that this video goes live, I'll actually be in the air and flying out over there. So if you see me over at IoT DevFest, just come up and give me a high five and don't say why, just do a high five. And then, and then I know you're a subscriber. So that'd be awesome. But I'll be doing an AT Command workshop out there. And I have the little unit that we'll be working on right now. And it's super cool. It uses an Adafruit trinket. And I love this because it uses the Circuit Python libraries in the SAMD chip. Super easy to work with, especially when it gets mounted as a mass storage device. Yep. And then I wanted to show this off. A lot of people were asking me, where do I get the cheap cellular module? This is the 2G module that I'll be using. I don't recommend 2G because it's going to be phased out.
Right, I was going to say, you should definitely, there's a coverage map that we'll link below that you can check to see if you have 2G in your area. At least in the States, it's only T-Mobile.
It's only T-Mobile. But a lot of our European users use 2G overseas. So it's still applicable, but it's definitely being phased out quickly, which is bringing the cost of the modules way down. Yep. So I'll provide a link to this. It's about $6 and really fast shipping for AliExpress.
And what I showed last week as well is that this is the Beagle breakout. I also use the Circuit Python there, so that's another thing that we've been using that a lot around here at DevRel just to get moving fast and try out simple code.
Yeah. And speaking of Python, we recently did a workshop for our staff, or at least half the staff so far.
Yep.
We got a pretty big team, and so we're going to be breaking up the team into 2 or 3 workshops, and pretty much it was fun. It was kind of like eat your own dog food kind of workshop, and we used Python and the Nova, and it was super fun. I have a photo up here. So Chris snuck this shot out of where we have our studio, and then it goes into one of the conference rooms. So it's good stuff.
That's good too. So Python in that case is actually the SDK that we provide for the Nova. You can easily get started writing stuff on Raspberry Pi, and that's what the workshop was. So it was actually talking through Raspberry Pi and then to the Nova.
Yeah. So we'll be doing more of those. We had a lot of good feedback from the team, and I think education, we educate a lot of people externally. I think educating our team is just as valuable. In fact, it's one of those mechanisms that you really invest into it, and then you get a magnitude return out of it. So very cool.
So something for me coming up this week, or next week, I suppose. I will be going to the Things conference, which is the Things Network is a community-based LoRaWAN network, and so I'll be going up to Amsterdam and going to that for a couple days, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. And so that'll be interesting, just meeting people doing LoRa stuff. That's what I showed last week with some of those modules. That was actually in preparation for this. So I'm excited to do that. If you're going to be out there, please let us know. Another thing I'll be doing, though, is looked at the calendar, talked to Benstr about it, and one of the biggest open source, just general open source conferences in the world is called FOSDEM, and that's out in Brussels, and so I'll be going to that as well.
Yeah.
So looking forward to that.
Super cool. Yep. And I'll be there in spirit.
And maybe video call if we need it.
Maybe video call. Let's do it. Cool. So the last thing I wanted to chat about is our contest. So the Hackster contest has officially wrapped up. We had over 60 entries, which is amazing. And we were working with the team and Raspberry Pi to figure out what the best contest submittals were. we're coming close. So by the time that this video is released, I think we're going to have our submittals put in, and or at least my vote and Chris's vote. And I want to show a couple of them really quick. This isn't the ones that we're necessarily voting for,
this
but
is just a sampling of them, not necessarily the winners.
but there's some that are like super stellar.
Yeah.
Like this one right here, like cloud controlling robot brain. Like I love it. I love it. What is really cool is like showing off all the different ways that you could remote control things, which remote controlling was one of the categories. The other one that was super popular was home monitoring, which is super cool. So this was done by Jade, and like look at this. He's like doing a professional setup in his house.
Yeah.
And everything.
No, it always comes down to the wiring. I think you always have to make sure you get clean wiring, and it makes the project look better.
Yeah. Yep. And the last one is, dude, Malice must be like an AWS expert because he built this thing, and the architecture is crazy. Here it is. So here's a photo of it. That is amazing. And he brings in blockchain. Like he hit all the buzzwords.
Okay,
yes,
the buzzwords.
it's great.
Yep.
So, but awesome. Big thank you for the community that spent countless hours putting these projects together. Super impressed by everyone.
Yeah.
So big thank you.
Yeah, we're hoping to do more contests in the future as well. So,
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. Right on. Does that wrap it up?
I think so. Yeah, that's been the week. This week flew by. I think getting ready for contests and workshops and conferences and everything. It flies by. So more weekly videos. Maybe not next week. We'll see. Benstr might be on his own next week. So.
Well, and I got a lot to talk about next week because next week's going to be AT Command Week.
Right.
So.
Right.
Yes,
Next week is always AT Command Week.
It's always next week.
Yeah.
All right. Till next time, team.